Fire in Bastrop County, 58% under control, 783 acres destroyed, evacuation orders lifted. Bastrop County, Texas, a controlled burn turned out of control and sparked the Rolling Pines fire in Bastrop County on Tuesday. A 6 p.m. update from fire and county emergency officials Tuesday said the fire burned around 640 acres and was 10% contained. An update Wednesday showed fire crews made progress getting it under control with 58% containment, but 783 acres burned. Get the latest Central Texas news and weather by downloading the KXAN News app and signing up for notifications on the topics that matter to you. As the fire continues to move, the Texas A&M Forest Service said they scaled back the roughly 200 firefighters from around Texas battling the blaze, sending some local crews back to their home department. Crews are battling the blaze with heavy equipment on the ground digging fire lines and helicopters dropping water from the air. The fire caused Bluebonnet Electric Co-op to de-energize some power lines in the area of the fire, leading to nearly 350 of their customers without power. You're kind of trying to mentally prepare for the call, like what you need to do, where you need to be, said Jackie Short, Vice President of the Winchester Area Volunteer Fire Department. Short said her department only has 19 members and 5 trucks and sent 6 members with 3 trucks to help Tuesday. The biggest challenge with that fire was just the visual. You couldn't see very much because of the smoke, she said. Winds calmed overnight into Wednesday, but as a strong cold front comes and potentially causes a 40-degree drop in temperatures in less than 24 hours, winds are expected to pick up again. Short is a realtor, cattle rancher, and mama. She said everyone in her department is a volunteer, so they all have other full-time jobs, but are ready to head back into Bastrop County if they're needed. When I'm paged and am available, then I'm here to support my community, she said. At 3 p.m. on Wednesday, the Texas A&M Forest Service said the vegetation near the inside of the fire was still putting off some smoke and embers, but since humidity levels have recovered and the winds have gone down, fire crews have been able to get a better grip on the containment line. 3:15 presser to come. Hey race today's conditions at TX Forest Service says. Fire is 30% contained. Recovering humidity levels. Winds have granted a better grip on containment line. Aware of a shift increase in winds this evening. Working on south end to prepare at KXAN News, PIC at twitter.com/86MVMBSGU. Caitlin Carmout January 19, 2022. Fire crews said because conditions leveled out Wednesday, they believe they have a better grip on the fire and will be able to better manage the wind increase and shift Wednesday evening. Sans Caitlin Carmout asked the Bastrop County judge what went into the final decision to move forward with the prescribed burn, and what was different about this particular burn compared to the 18 that have happened since the devastating 2011 fire. We don't issue burn bans on weather conditions alone. There must be certain soil conditions, fuel conditions. We're a long ways away from issuing a county-wide burn ban, said Bastrop County Judge Paul Pate. The decision wasn't done lightly. It wasn't done without full planning and forethought. Sometimes weather changes in Texas, and it changes quickly. On the Texas Parks and Wildlife website, its own guidelines said humidity levels should be around 20 to 30%. And the wind speeds should be about 10 to 15 miles per hour in order to set a prescribed burn. Pape said a full investigation will launch next week, and officials plan to turn over every stone to find out what went wrong. Sign up for our daily forecast newsletter at xan.com newsletter. Download the KXAN weather app to get the latest weather forecast, Apple Android. KXAN will provide live updates from the fire in this post, but in the meantime, here are links to our previous coverage of the fire. Controlled burn likely led to Bastrop County wildfire, officials say. Fire behavior has greatly reduced. It shouldn't have happened. Neighbors want leaders held accountable for Bastrop wildfire. Not a good situation. Bastrop Company fire is deja vu for some residents. What were weather conditions when the Bastrop County controlled burn began? Neighbors helping people in Bastrop fire's path evacuate livestock. As Bastrop County fire evacuees go home, one says she's done. Live updates 10 p.m. The Bastrop County Office of Emergency Management said crews will stay on site through the night patrolling and continuing to improve containment line. The office said firefighters worked all day to improve containment in anticipation of a strong cold front and wind shift that moved through Wednesday evening. 6:45 p.m. All evacuation orders have been lifted as of 6:45 p.m., the Bastrop County Office of Emergency Management said. Highway 21 was also reopened, and there have been no reported damage to residential structures. Bastrop County said as residents return home, it asks for them to pay special attention navigating areas in which emergency personnel are operating. 6 p.m. The Rolling Pines fire remains at 783 acres but is 58% contained as of Wednesday night. All evacuations for residential areas have been lifted, Texas A&M Forest Service spokesperson Carrie Hines said. Crews will continue to work throughout the evening, preparing for a forecasted change in the wind. Emergency personnel have been preparing the southern boundary of the fire for wind gusts that may reach 25 to 30 miles per hour. Earlier Wednesday, helicopters poured water over hot spots across the fire area. 3:30 p.m. Bastrop County Judge Paul Pape said the fire is under control at this time, but isn't contained. Pape added that the fire has not spread past the containment line, though some spots are still smoking within its footprint. Evacuations have been lifted for neighborhoods northwest of Highway 21. Pine Hills Estates residents can go back to their home after 6 p.m. Highway 21 is open to through traffic, but should be avoided if possible. Pape said there will be a full investigation into the fire. Another update is expected at 6 p.m. Wednesday. Officials from Bastrop County and Texas A&M Forest Service hold a press conference January 19, 2022 to give details about the Rolling Pines fire in Bastrop County. Officials from Bastrop County and Texas A&M Forest Service hold a press conference January 19, 2022 to give details about the Rolling Pines fire in Bastrop County. Officials from Bastrop County and Texas A&M Forest Service hold a press conference January 19, 2022 to give details about the Rolling Pines fire in Bastrop County. 2:50 p.m. A controlled burn in Bastrop County turned into wildfire Tuesday, burning more than 780 acres as of Wednesday afternoon. Officials say it is 30% contained. XAN's first warning weather team broke down what the weather conditions were like prior to the controlled burn. Read more here. 2:46 p.m. The Bastrop County ESD2 said anyone who wants to donate drinking water or sports drinks can drop that off at station number 4, located at 1432 Highway 95 North. If firefighters are on a call, donations should be left on the front porch. 2:30 p.m. Valkyrie Ranch in Page is offering those affected by the fire to evacuate their livestock, horses, and exotic animals. The ranch posted on its Facebook page that it was accepting livestock evacuations at its location on 2030-2104. The ranch says no one needs to call first. 1 p.m. Fire officials provided a brief update in Bastrop County Wednesday afternoon. An upcoming briefing to discuss the status of evacuation orders is set for 3:15 p.m. During the 1 p.m. briefing, Texas A&M Forest Service spokesperson Alex Briegenzer said the fire was not as active as last night. The fire remained at 30% containment and more than 780 acres burned, as of early Wednesday afternoon. No residential structures have been lost, according to officials. No injuries have been reported. Briegenzer said the forward movement of the fire has stopped. 10 a.m. Even with crews making progress containing the fire, there are still evacuation orders and road closures in place. Evacuations orders are still in effect for these areas: Power Plant Road, Pine Tree Loop, Lisa Lane, Linda Lane, Porter Road, Casey Drive, Hillcrest Drive, Pinedale Drive, Pine Hollow Drive, Wildwood Drive, Boren Lane, Pine Hill Drive. People who live on Kelly Road, both east and west, can return to their homes, as well as people who live north to 1441. State Highway 21 is still closed. 9:15 a.m. Local and state leaders praised firefighters for making very good progress and working throughout the night on the Rolling Pines fire in Bastrop County. During a news conference Wednesday morning, representatives from several agencies responding to the fire said crews constructed containment lines using bulldozers around almost the entire area of the fire, and they are not projecting any further growth of the fire. However, they said people will still likely see smoke throughout the rest of the day. Crews will also monitor changing weather conditions and winds to pick up again when a cold front arrives later Wednesday. Because of that cold front, Bastrop County Judge Paul Pape told reporters, "We need to get this fire completely controlled today." Pape, along with the executive director of the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, promised an investigation will happen to determine how a prescribed burn Tuesday at Bastrop State Park got out of control. Pape called it unacceptable for that to happen, but said we will get to the bottom of this. Carter Smith with TPW explained a certified burn boss made the call based on his expertise and input from other agencies to move forward with the prescribed burn. "I am unequivocally convinced that our burn boss thought it was safe to carry out the fire," Smith said. "We don't know what happened. We absolutely believe that embers from the prescribed fire that undoubtedly caused the fire off the park. We've tried to acknowledge that. What we don't know is how that happened, but we'll get to the bottom of that." Smith could not offer a timeline about how long that investigation will last, but he said he would come back to the community to share the findings when they're available. The Elgin Recreation Center, located at 361 H. 29 in Elgin, will remain open Wednesday to provide food and shelter to fire evacuees. 11 people stayed overnight at the shelter, while one family who evacuated used a hotel voucher to find a safe space to sleep. Evacuation orders remain in effect at this time, though local leaders are expected to reassess whether to lift them later Wednesday. They are asking people to still stay away from the area since it remains an active scene. The Texas A&M Forest Service reported the fire destroyed no primary home. Firefighters patrolled neighborhoods overnight, according to local leaders, to ensure no active fire spread to those areas. 8:25 a.m. Fire officials updated the total acreage and containment level of the fire, saying 783 acres and 30% contained. More information will be given at the 9 a.m. update briefing. State Highway 21 through the area remains closed, officials said. 8 a.m. The Texas A&M Forest Service will give an update at 9 a.m. outside the Bastrop State Park headquarters. We will stream the update in this story. 6 a.m. The Bastrop County Office of Emergency Management issued an update on its Facebook page saying Fireline leadership did not report changes to the acreage or containment during night operation. Crews worked throughout the night continuing to create containment line and patrolling near homes for any threats, the update said. In part, the agency also pointed out there's a temporary flight restriction around the area of the fire and told people not to fly their personal drones in the area.